This is the Apple Watch 3. Hold on a sec. Alright everyone, this is the Apple Watch Ultra 3 and this is the Apple Watch Ultra 2. The first thing I want to point out is that I bought this with my own money, so Apple has no say in what I have to say about this device. I am not an Apple fanboy, I'm not a Garmin fanboy, I just like good devices. So what I'm going to do in this review is, this is obviously a first look because it just arrived in the mail. And I'm going to go over the differences between the 3 and the 2. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give my opinion as to who this device might be for and if it's worth upgrading. So let's just jump right into it. The first key difference is the screen is slightly bigger. The bezel is slightly smaller, approximately 4% larger. When you look at it, you can't notice a difference. Apparently it has a better off-axis viewing. And you look at it and yeah, it might be there, but there was nothing wrong with the off-axis viewing, which means from looking at it from the side. Slightly better, according to Apple. In real life, you're not going to notice a difference when you're out there running or hiking or whatever you're doing in the outdoors. Difference number 2. The battery life, Apple claims, has gone up 6 hours to 42 hours of regular use. The GPS use still at 14 hours. That's what Apple is claiming. I will be doing a follow-up video to test the battery life of the 3 versus the 2 in real world scenario. A 6-hour difference in battery life seems like a decent amount of battery life increase. It's a little bit more than the 1 and the 2. We will take any battery increase with an Apple Watch. However, if you're comparing these, which you really shouldn't do, to Garmin, Suunto, Coros, other manufacturers. In order for more people to jump on the Apple bandwagon, 6 hours, it's nice, but we should be looking at several days of use instead of hours of use. Difference number 3, the Apple Watch Ultra. In many countries of the world, 140 plus countries in the world, not in Canada where I live, has the ability to measure hypertension. It is not a blood pressure device, but it will look for trends over time to see if you have possible hypertension. Here in Canada, I can't test it because our regulatory board, Health Canada, does not approve a lot of things that are approved in other countries in the world. No idea why. Point number 4. This is the biggest change. On the Apple Watch Ultra 3, you have the ability to now do satellite messaging and SOS just like you do on the iPhone. For the last 2+ years, roughly 2 years, you have the ability to use satellite messaging for free on your iPhone. I tested it out in the backcountry, not in an emergency situation, and it works quite well. So what you can do is that you can use this watch to contact emergency services via SOS, and it uses a LEO or low Earth orbit satellite, different than the geosynchronous, which are way high up in the sky. These ones are low, so what happens is that the satellite passes over at a low altitude, the watch picks it up, but then when that satellite passes through, it looks for the next satellite to come over. So there's a little bit of a lag. It's almost like going between cell phone towers when you're on your phone. That's quite a seamless operation. So what you are going to do is experience a little bit of lag in between picking up these low Earth orbit satellites. I will note that this will be, according to Apple, a free 2-year service in Canada, US, and Mexico for now. Other countries rolling out in the future. I know there's going to be lots of Garmin users out there, especially when you have an InReach device, or Garmin just announced their Fenix Pro line that enables you to contact emergency services via satellite. That's a paid subscription. It's a little bit of a cumbersome operation. As I mentioned, I tested out satellite messaging on the iPhone and it works quite well. A little bit better of a system than the Garmin, so this will come in handy when you are out of cell phone range and you're trail running, or if you're out for a day hike or something like that, and you come across an emergency, you'll be able to contact emergency services via satellite, via the watch alone. No phone needed. And the last thing I want to point out is something minor-ish, but the price on the Apple Watch has not gone up in 3 years. These are still $7.99 in the US, $10.49 I believe it is here in Canada, which is saying something because every other manufacturer has gone up, and in some cases a lot, especially over the last 3 years. So kudos to Apple for keeping the price the same. And I know they've done the same thing with their original series watch. It has not gone up in price, more features for the same price. Now I just want to give you some overall thoughts. The battery life increase, it's a nice thing to have. Should they go for more battery life on a device that they consider an ultra, that ultra endurance athletes want to use? Yes, we should be talking about days instead of hours for the battery life on a device like this. In saying that, it's quite difficult to compare an Apple Watch to a Garmin Fenix as an example. This is more smartwatch first, sport watch features, and the Garmin would be the reverse of this. Who exactly would this be for, and is it worth upgrading from the one or the two? Well, it comes down to a really small subset of people who go for day hikes, trail runs, or away from cell phone connection for quite a short period of time. If you are someone who goes in the backcountry and you're going out for days, unless you want to carry a power bank with you, you're better off getting something like an InReach so that you can stay connected to emergency services if you need that. But this is a nice feature to have on a device, because if I look at where I run, yes, I'm out in the mountains, and yes, I'm away from cell phone connection, but even within the city, there are certain pockets where I run and there's no cell phone connection because we're in valleys and whatnot, surrounded by trees, and there's no cell phone signal. So something like this with the emergency services connection via satellite is a nice feature. For myself, is it worth upgrading from my Ultra 2? It's not. But for some people out there, it's a worthy upgrade, especially if you're coming from, say, one of the Apple series watches, the 6 or the 7, the 8, maybe even the 9. You want a more durable device with a better battery life and that emergency services connection via satellite. This might be of interest to you. That's all, everyone. I will have a comprehensive battery comparison video on the channel within a week. Thanks for watching, everyone. Maybe even consider hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to hear the comments below. I can't wait to hear what the Garmin people have to say about the Apple Watch, and possibly even what the Apple fan people have to say about the new Ultra 3. And get outside.